Hi guys, we're back. Last revising and editing piece. I didn't purposely leave off the code word for number 12. If you missed that, I will make sure I tell you guys what it is at a later time. Okay, so we're going to do this selection called Flying to New Heights. It's editing. It says corrections up here. We're going to be fixing grammar, spelling, punctuation, and so forth. Okay, let's talk about number 14. Okay, it says, what is the correct way to write sentence 8? Okay, we're looking at fragments and run-ons because the sentence said she promised her mother that she would succeed. Consequently, she walked the 4-mile distance daily between her home and school. This word consequently is a transition word. The complete thought ends right here. So it's a run-on. So we have a complete thought right here and then a complete thought starting with the word consequently. Now we do still need this comma after consequently because it's a transition word. Okay, so F does not do that correctly. It doesn't put any punctuation at all, except for it adds this random comma right here, which doesn't fix the run-on. Okay, G, no punctuation at all. H puts a semicolon after she walked. And so then we would have a fragment starting with the 4-mile distance daily. Doesn't make any sense. Now they did do this part correctly. So remember, you've got to read all of your choices very carefully. Choice J is our correct one. It says she promised her mother that she would succeed, period. Consequently, comma, she walked the 4-mile distance daily between her home and school. So J fixes our problem and doesn't create any new ones, so that's our best choice. And our code word for number 14 is Burger King. Okay? Number 15. What change, if any, needs to be made in sentence 10? Okay, so let's look at sentence 10. Okay, it says, unfortunately, her limited funds have run out after only 1 year and she was forced to return home. Notice was past tense. After everything in the next sentence, past tense. Everything before, past tense. So, what's not past tense is this verb have. It should have been had. Her limited funds had run out after only 1 year. So, or ran out. Had run or ran. Putting it in past tense is our best choice. So A is our correct answer. Let's look at our other choices and why they're not correct. Deleting the comma after year, we don't want to do that because it is a compound sentence. We have to have that comma before our fanboy. Can't do that. Was forced to is forced. That's the opposite problem. It would be changing it to present tense and then it wouldn't match with the rest of the selection. Okay, so A is our best choice, and our code word for number 15 is Lila the leopard. Okay, number 16. What change should Gina make in sentence 17? Okay, sentence 17 said, where is it? Sentence 17. In September of 1921, Coleman, whom was now a proficient pilot, came back to the United States. Okay. All right, this one's a little bit tougher than some of them because this is a topic that a lot of people have problems with. Insert a comma after performance. Only after the whole phrase would you want to... Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, it said after performance. Wait, am I in the wrong one? Yeah, sorry. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What change should Gina make? Okay, insert a comma after September. Okay, no, because of the word off. Okay, because it says in September, comma, of 1921. Oh, not off, of. If I have September of 1921, then I don't need to put a comma between September and 1921. If I didn't have the word of, then sure, I would. But the word of is taking the place of the comma. Okay, so I don't need to do that. All right, so change whom to who. That's our correct answer. And it comes down to, is it a subject or an object? Whom is an object. Okay, so like I say, for whom, by whom, to whom. A lot of people think they just sound smart if they use whom instead of who. not true, because you have to use it in the correct case. And here, it's renaming a subject. Okay, let me show you. All right. It says, Coleman. Okay, she's the subject of the sentence. Coleman came back to the United States. That's simplifying the sentence, but subject, verb. Now we have extra information about Coleman, and then we have a prepositional phrase at the beginning. But we're renaming Coleman. So if this is a subject, then the pronoun that I use here has to be a subject too, as well. Let me clarify, not to, T-O. We need to keep the case with what it goes with, okay? If I don't have any prepositions, or if it doesn't come after a verb, then I'm going to not use whom, okay? Even though I may think it sounds smarter, okay? Proficient, I can look up in the dictionary to make sure that I'm spelling it correctly, and then I do not want to change it to the present tense because I want it to stay in the past tense, okay? All right, so then we're moving on to the one I tried to do a second ago. Hold on. Number 16 code word is dishwasher. Dishwasher. Okay, number 17. What change, if any, needs to be made in sentence 25? All right, this is the one I was trying to do before and it didn't make any sense. Tragically, during a Florida performance in 1926, Coleman died when her plane experienced a mechanical failure and crashed. Okay, so this one probably threw a lot of y'all off because a lot of you don't like to choose D. You're like, I must be missing something. I must have, there's got to be something wrong with it that I'm just not seeing. But guys, choice D is there because you're going to use it sometimes, okay? So D is the correct choice, but let's talk about why these aren't, okay? These aren't correct. Putting a comma after performance. All right. Tragically, during a Florida performance, comma, in 1926, comma, no, because the performance was in 1926. This part goes with the rest of that phrase. So I don't need a comma there. All right. Change the comma after 1926 to a semicolon. That is not correct because if I did that, I would have a fragment on this side of the semicolon, and for a semicolon to work, I have to have complete thought, complete thought. So no semicolon there, okay? And then mechanical, I can just use the dictionary, and I can make sure that I am spelling it correctly. So D is our correct choice. Make no change, and our code word is maple syrup. Okay, number 18. And then I'm going to stop doing this because they are getting worse and worse as I go along. Number 18, how does sentence 28 need to be changed? Okay. Similar, a group of female African-American pilots started the Bessie Coleman Aviators Club in 1977. Our correct choice is that we need it to say similarly. Okay? We need the adverb because this is an adjective. So if I'm going to use the word similar, I have to say something is similar. But this is being used as a transition. So similarly, like in a way that is similar to something that I've mentioned earlier. So that's the correct answer. Now, G is not correct because I wouldn't say females pilots. Okay? That just doesn't work. And then started to would start would change the tense unnecessarily. It wouldn't work in this context. And then inserting a comma after club. If I had put that at the beginning of the sentence, it would need a comma. We worked on that earlier in the year. Let me show you. Okay. If it said, a group of female African-American pilots started the Bessie Coleman Aviators Club in 1977. Okay. If I had in 1977 at the beginning of the sentence, I would put a comma after it because it's an introductory prepositional phrase. But if it comes in the middle of the sentence, I don't need the comma. We talked about that at the beginning of the year. So, depends on what order you put it in. Okay? F is our correct choice, and our word for number 18 is dream big. Dream big. Okay, thanks guys.